and then suddenly something will happen.
Okay.
To me, I see because elsewhere, because Kofobi from nowhere, now for your mother, what's the word? Destabilize the economy.
Yeah. Basically, there is nothing much like that could take place because once there is a realm in the realm of the spirit, there was something that was arranged in time, and that thing has been dealt with. And I'm coming to you, and I'm so a ship, but now I'm doing the plans of the enemy did not succeed until Munimugwase. But mainly, what is going to happen is that I said one thing that is very critical in time, that there is just one party ruling the country for 16 years in the timeline. So because it was just one, so because it was just one party ruling the country, it continued a specific line of operation. And we start here and we between so once you start here, we between so and then it continued. And there was no break in between the line, so it continued, and that's how come we're able to be elevated into that angle. And I would
say the all can either not just say blue when you're doing about because say you deal with now a bet twice because it is one party that is ruling and we are twice because it's their own thing there.
Yeah,
and not just
the other side. Okay, let me break it down to you then. Also, the prophecy stated clearly, and each prophecy is a time dimensional operation that God has revealed. I've gone there, I've seen what is happening, and when I looked at the reality of time as the Lord lives, I began to notice that the NDC were ruling for 16 years, and there was nothing that was breaking it.
Wow.
And there was a younger party that came in to contend with the one that was on, because now things never be here. They are be here former opinion for no be to understand. Say like the country was going too good that it almost I said they were playing with things. They were interfering with things, and that's when a third party kicked in and was able to break the barrier. And that was the only thing that breached the 16 years. And aside that, there was nothing. Aside that, there was an organization via BBC, and they wanted to create something spiritually. But that one was many years ago, so we've worked towards it a lot, and then we've dealt with it. Aside that, the country is going to look like a one-party state. And some of these things will come up, some people will be angry with you. But I saw
because a band sounds not quite dangerous. So
it will become like a one-party state for the 16 years I'm talking about. And I said the MPP party was splitted into pieces. And I said this thing like many years ago. Even before Alan Mantibe departed, I told you put the date and the moment he would depart is right there. Before that time, everybody was Alan Mantibe in the MPP before he departed. And I came and then I put across the Kennedy upon all those situations all around in that angle. And then even some of the fashions that has been formed out of the party, the base and all of those things, I made it very clear. As I speak to you right now, by the grace of God, it's like the division is ongoing, and the most critical shifts are in time. When I observed it, I started laughing because initially I was like, okay, this man is, I don't see anything with him, he's not going anywhere. Because they asked me a question, maybe say, now we obey then, and I'm saying, won't go, like, a very important matter for me. But later, I was just there and I saw a revelation about him. So I was checking through time that what could be the possibility of this opening. And I mean, who say, Afenyo marking, honorable Afenyo marking. I don't know what it is. Is it a minority leader? Yeah. Minority leader. One for person, one for your politics, some kind of micro minority. That's the funny one. And, no. And I mean, who say, the star of the presidency has left Baumia. Honorable Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, His Excellency, that's a former Vice President, and I bet to Afenyo marking so.
Really?
Yes.
But also in recent times, someone was interviewing him, the person made mention of that. I was like, hey, don't go there.
Also. It is the future is very interesting. That once you admit that you want to become, then there's problems,
Sure.
Do not swing at the king and miss. That's the principle. So we own to me ND or in kind, because you may be the minority leader at this moment, but don't know the head of the party because he's the flag bearer. So one show you now believe you say you have a presidential ambition, they'll start sabotaging you. And then I'll be to me born the presidential ambition clearly. Now if you do be no more chiche, appointment as a boy because now you're not to change. The reason is because the person sees come on in the scene show or approve it. So basically that's how these things do work. And sometimes it's because the people are very careful, but in time spiritually, and these are spiritual matters in time that I'm looking at and I'm seeing inside, Yes. It is on him. So you're the next president of the next presidential candidate. Let me not go far ahead of myself. The next presidential candidate or the flag bearer that will stand and contend within that party is Afenyo Mankin. He will carry the heaviest weight they have never seen before. Exactly. So that's what I have seen in time, basically. And I don't understand why anytime I look at, because I love him a lot, but anytime I don't see him with the thing. Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's put it aside then. Where the future is going is what I'm looking at.
Right.
Maybe when I tell you say who becomes the next president or any other thing, I don't know whether you like it, you believe it, you don't accept it or not, it will be your reality. You will live in it. So that's how it is.
Prof, with that being said, almost so they are trying to keep the house in order near there so that come 2028 won't be me IABB.
Right.
They are very hopeful. Right. Now, is there something that can be done? I bet me assessa what you've seen.
What I have seen. Basically, when it comes to the 16 years, there's only one thing that broke it, which has to do with the young Plumo that broke through the 16-year pattern. Once that person is not active within that reality, the 16 years will continue for NDC permanently without because it was left with 4 years after 12 years. That 4 years was the main problem. Now, last 4 years never completed 16 years. Then the young Plumo comes in. But then in that context, I always say that so there's no need for panic. If the 16 years has to be fulfilled, it will be fulfilled because that thing can be dealt with. And if the person that is strong enough stands in, they will be able to break through within that system. Wow. When that time comes. So at the end of the day, that's how it is. So that's the only bit of time that I am saying, in that 16 years pattern, it was broken by a young Plumo. And in prophetic, people can replace things. The event will okay, but we can change the characters in the event. That one is there. But the 16 years is firm and going. Right. And that's it. And as I always say, and there it is your reality. We'll live in it. So maybe in the next 8 years, we'll come here and talk about the same story whilst we continue the 16 years.
Maybe I call back to the continuity. Yes, 16 years, never twice for one party now, and never be year because we build on it. Based on that, the current president.
Right.
We're making a lot of promises. And they say, and then you are telling us that the future looks good near there. And you be in the next few years, I can't no name for him to finish his term. In the spiritual realms, I do obey me achieve a greater percentage of the promises I want make it to Ghana for. And now beer or more a beba a bet twice on a bit me.
Gigi Ghana, buy and sell online. Install and go.
Made it very clear that there are certain changes because Ghana is about to enter into a stage of rebirth, which means there's not a reset. They use the word reset, but the country is about to be reborn. There are certain things we used to know that is about to change. Certain pathways we used to know that is about to change. So many promises now are making basically on the political angle. I don't know, president or any promises. So I would want that one. I would admonish him to keep his side of the bargain. That is his side. But basically, what I see here from now, by the time he gets out from that seat, there are so many things that you will see happening. I don't know honestly, I don't know their manifesto. I don't go into those things. Because when you go in there, it becomes like you know what is happening, then you talk about it. But I know exactly what is happening in time as I see. The country is going to change in ways we cannot imagine. And when it comes to even movement and everything, agriculture, the gold and everything, so many things will be hit. So prepare yourself. And then just mainly to, basically I know because the way Future I know was going, it meant that something good happened. He moved something and he may have kept some things. Yeah. I believe strongly.
Now, Prof, shifting the kakra. Now, mostly, on my be koso and I be jumaku be koso. It be ba individually. You be tumpoane there, and then from nowhere there can be an attack.
Right. On
that country or firm or that personality.
Right.
Now, the assign from beam. Those attacks, no, the physical ones are yeah very much aware of. Yeah, sometimes and to quantum money at the will be any blue. No, sometimes you can see it coming and then you plan, say, okay, in case any minute want to do this, we also do this.
Right.
Be a chronic countries, queen. Now, almost the intercepted be a bar, will be a Thomas, I cry, to be going to watch they prepared for that. But when it comes to spiritual attacks, you
don't see it coming.
You see that thing.
By surprise.
Now, spiritually, those attacks, see then a banner, I say. Anka o man bi tumpon ana bia obi ko nanim e bi ko emfa say president bi abana ka obon homodin bi and then spiritual attack be from somewhere and then boom na suddenly bi asesa
na shut it down. On say the life of man is warfare. So life is a battle between spiritual angles before you go to the battlefield to fight. The Sun Tzu said, he who wins the war in the temple before going to the field to fight, he will win. Which simply means that you win inside the temple, which means the Chinese warlords understood that in order for you to win a war spiritually, you have to conquer first.
Yeah.
Then when you go out, you can win. So spiritually, it's a contention. There is another side of the occasion. There's another party. There are other people. There are other businesses that want to manipulate the operation. And then there is the international world that want to keep you where you are so they can rule the country continually. So definitely there will be certain spiritual manipulations. But then as the Lord lives, no one say, so we are standing in the gap and praying and pushing so that certain strange things does not happen. Because as I was speaking to you in time, I said this 2 years ago, that in this country there was an agenda for a coup in the country, and then that thing has been dealt with in a very shocking manner. And within the same season, in wait, and that's something that shows you say there is a work in progress, and by the grace of God, certain things will be planned, but it will not happen in our country.
Wow.
And as I speak to you, like we are still trying to bury another. We are still crying and trying to bury somebody. Like I said right now today, yes.
Anka you see I'm a prominent person.
Oh, Anka, I see that. I've received the information. They've called me, they've told me. And I've spoken to some of them. Yeah. The same story.
But
I made a prophetic decree. The same story.
Wow.
The same story. I gave the prophetic decree. Now, not everything in this country that the person will come and start on TV and then talk about it. It is there. So everybody that knows that situation is an underground situation that has taken place quietly. People are quiet in about it. Yes, and yeah, easy. The same August story we had. Another one was about to hit.
Wow.
So people watch my prophecy and not to make a decision for their life. And you see why they're important, because prophecy is there to inform, to guide, to direct. And now it's only one person they have targeted, and they will continue the pattern spiritually. So we'll deal with that one, and then we take it from there. And these things do happen in time. But once there's a prophet to reveal the secrets of the enemy, and also pray about it, so wow, the people that are watching me, they know what happened some few days ago. And like all of you will be crying by now. Wow.
And that's what comes to my face.
Yeah.
And you hear it being played everywhere.
Yeah, like it was a repetition. Yes.
Wow. But Prof, why is it that Nipa, why are we like that? Say all the time they are always looking for the downfall of others. Say why?
I think it's a very, very dark character. It's in the human nature. Once human beings came into the flesh, on say Bible no, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, no more 4 pay we are being 4 on the face of the earth, they couldn't tolerate each other. Not Cain and Abel. Nipa 4 we are 4 pair. Now I come back on everyone. So envy and jealousy did not come today. Because obi anya recognition, prominence, attention, blessing, and to be teaching or feel or no feeling until you attack you, the one going forward. And that's the situation. And then some of the real situations we're seeing here on social media. I mean, say Obi Stoneboy, I call you any show. London, is it London or Germany?
Yeah, London.
Or any show with London. No, be the whole show a crowd go a man for tunyum yedi Ghana we no coat of family and yamana be sisi on people excited, they are happy, show is going on. Now Ghana for media and some few people, what they are talking about is curtains. Talking about curtains, they are trying to find every fault within the person's success. What I say, Obetimi your president. Why your president? Why fight it to the top, saving the country? Somebody will tell you, say, unti bro funti. That alone should overshadow all the hard work you've done. So basically, that's that kind of thing, because you are reaching stage of what we call anti-success, which means when we see success, we find faults in the success, and that's the stage we've reached, and we are not able to celebrate the success. Almost a Bruni Bibe organization, an underground singer or something. A organization or club, and a party kito abi. I'm on for about 25 now, so we are saying I'm on for positive. Wow, go girl, you did very good. Congratulations on your show. And as I congratulations on my man, Obeka say we can change. Oko bia 20 people are standing there. Obi be near for aeroplane ako UK. Ako gadani pabe say 7,000, 10,000, say 20,000, any number. Even if they were 500. That's a good approach in life. We can never compare ourselves to the Burna Boys and everything, because their country, there are 240 something million people. So we can never get the kind of numbers they have. And they are masters of Jakpa. From so they support each other. That's how they are. But in our context, mostly we try to play down on the people's success, and we see someone going, and then we keep fighting. When you say no, you want to succeed, they are phobia. Now you never compare. Now Adani battle. So every day they are using the person to insult you. Then you push. Oh, now we say, me too. They were using me to insult some people. I tell you, don't go there with me. Me, I'm my own person. I'm not the one
using you
to insult some other pastors here and everything. So. Text. That's how it happens. I say, we become thin at the fatness of our neighbor. You also be quiet. And it's a thing. Naturally, human beings are like that. But then what you're supposed to do is not to put the person down. You're supposed to run in that race. It's a race. So when you see someone is leaving you behind, find other strategies and catch up. Don't get angry trying to find ways to dig them down or dig dirt on them. Obetimia your papa by actually doing better, and that can actually save you. So I believe strongly, say, let's rather be successful in pushing each other, and we can really go further. Because affecting the reason why that has affected us is it has gone through the politics. President Bibaya the papa obi who the papa na why no say Sadusi for no ya say so now so he doesn't want to see the good thing someone is doing. The fact say politics or any other thing in the country, and yes, our NDC MPP as I say, psychologically it has dug into our soul. So your wants to be succeed, we need the other opposition. And then we start that comparison. We start comparison, then we start fighting each other. So we're like, okay, we say, oh, we cry, no, yes, and oh, we cry, correct. We cry, say, then we start digging. So steady, our media space, most of the biggest information is not good news, it's bad news. It's always something that is wrong. Once a interview is say, I'm trying to tissues is here, better than breaking news. Everyone should have people everywhere. Every blogger will talk about, hey, Mumbai show, the catalyst man, so what a drone off. Maybe I know.
The catalyst man.
Yeah, you know.
I am
the catalyst man. Now, now, you know that kind of thing. Now, almost start take but whatever good thing you say, like I spoke about cocaine. Say, yeah, but cocaine with your good sacks, I said, cocoa sacks, I had the way, so our government writing stamp people. I had this number of cocaine babechi, and the people will be caught red-handed, and then they will be brought to the news who will monitor it. 2 weeks, Pepe was 1 week after. Partner ya chairman for no Pepe, the same thing. Arrested there, and that is development of the country. These are the things that save your country. Exactly. So these are some of the things we have to look at, and then we have to push the agenda of success. That's it.
All right. Prof, I'm going to ask that question. Sometimes prophecies need to be one way bad. We say you be lie, sir. You know, those that favor money there, cool. And even if they don't love you, they'll begin to love you. You understand? But they are man, especially see how they are mentioning as 16 years country. Masa, obi on one person a party banner. So how do you handle those things like when it happens like this? Because one, this is what God has revealed to you. And attacks a banner. How do you handle that?
Number one, me and Cranny. So we are happy by nature. Your happiness with your
I love that.
Number that's one thing. Like from where you're like it's happiness from when you're a kid. So you always like things that bring happiness. That's why we don't know how to do most of the things. And then secondly, no, once I attempt the day be obedi me biano, and I the obe can't tell me. I mean, and I catch them with the dada. When we were kids, no, they'll mock you basically. That we are good at that. Yeah, cry for no. So like you do attempt they grow, so you are normal with it. So obi can't send it. So mainly we are interested in like somebody that is saying something factual or something important. Then our brain wants to work with it. But when it's just somebody just talking, it's not really important to us. Definitely, no. Once you speak, I remember 2020 there about, and I started talking about NDC coming to power. Mama will win by 57%. It will take about almost getting to 11 to 13 regions and blah blah blah. Broke it all down. I can't date and time of the election in Yaman. People will come. Wow, we false prophet, fake pastor, NDC pastor. But then 2020, I said Akufo-Addo will win the election. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will win the election. I can't pay fee. Nobody came to insult me. Nobody came to insult me. That one, so now MP for now quiet. Now NDC for now Jimmy Asuya. Nakuja is an NDC member. One said, yeah, no, we deal with everybody, but an NDC member. I don't know why me interview no when I said it was not happy at all. That day it was very, very dull. But whatever it does, that's what I'm seeing. I mean, you can't convince me to say otherwise. And at the end of the day, it happened. Insult was coming from the other side. Any Mose or the caption, no ball, no caption, go on Bonnie or should I cover up? But it's seen so. It's his reality. He has lived in it. And at 2024, it comes on NDC to prophecy comes in. He wins they win the election. Everybody goes out. Election comes. Once our election come, no means to wait for deal with them or Kekania Macha or calling you all, and you don't know them from Adam and they don't even know you from Adam, but you are saying what you've seen. And they say, oh no, so what opinion? No, so believe it's a whole time or I'll see the future. And I was at the Michelle Goma. I saw someone on interview saying, oh, prophecy about 2028 election about me, I'll become president. And on what was 53.3% to the 53 point something, 51 point something percent. On what she can say, say me can uhumbia na wakwa na trabre no dra.
Prof, now it be a question because sometimes even some of us.
Right.
Me nyame yihwe nkyere me. Enya me nyame aka. Me de answer me no din komo na wo waka. And sometimes you finish with your show and then we say obi send you a message bi and I say we work number oni pa kunkra unnim no. And you don't even know how they manage to get your number or fraud cry or introduce you humpo. Was now we know and you know sometimes the anger.
Yeah,
I can imagine one kasana who deliver message me because me I'm a teacher on the back show so and so obi create me get why do you allow such people to come on your program hey
and I like obi share
me too radio na nyame dia program so nyame dia but
obi can a problem but say bomo for cry to aka na o choba ni a o twen nam no e dey aye nkwan so it's not easy. They really get a lot of that hit. Like they try to dig a whole lot of things on you. They will twist your statement, twist your words and everything and put it to the public without any evidence. And they keep pushing an agenda against you. Like me, I've seen all of those things. Like they've done to the maximum. People have done a lot. And it's like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Because you know exactly what you're doing. We did not just show up and then we were just doing something that is moved by this. I am not moved by the applause of men. Neither am I moved by the insults of men. I have a plan and I'm moving the plan. I was working from a lowly sleep to execute something in time. And that's specifically what I'm doing. So Otie, the wind that is going on, you will be worried. Just make sure you're careful, take your plans together, put things in order, and then you go forward. And by the time we are far gone.
What Jimmy Umu? Prof, Mammy Bisas our question. Say, has there been a time where Nyame yibi actual? Yes, we did partially like you saw it at the end. This is it, and it's like
vividly,
nothing can be done about it. Yet time on there, Nyame share no so and do ambassador, it changed to something else.
Not even one, not even a single one. I can't remember any. There's not even to remember. There is none. Basically, there's none. There is none in a sense. Once I tell you it's an original timeline, there's nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
Yes, once I tell you that. If I tell you we can tamper with it, and then we start working fine. Once we can see something, and then when we are dealing with the situation, I said a prophecy in time. Obiaba, now Abe now I can young Juman, maybe we're basically going. So I'll come and tell you, oh, something is happening behind the scene about, but I can't just tell you everything about the thing. Maybe because now we never buy and we know everything you can actually give to the public, because my law is the act of secrecy. I keep it privacy because we have a very strong non-disclosure life in what I do. So I like to hide the people that come to me.
Temu, shop like a billionaire. Download now.
Maybe one or two make kind of in a very funny way, but then you understand that there's a progressive work on it. And I've not really seen any yet. None.
All right. Now, maybe that's our question. Enough, me find out one about after delivering prophecy, they were let's say they were
right.
And then those ones now are in now.
Right.
Sometimes say say it will affect them. It's not going their way, no.
Right.
Sometimes I don't want me to and I'm baby whom say, is there something we can do about it so that
yeah, they do actually. Like I've actually seen people that will actually say something opposite on air and then come and see you. So it's a contradicting reality. They're saying something else.
But yes, then they will come
but
and
then
see
they are
you.
with you. So it's like, you don't get the picture. Like, why are you trying to change the story from this side? But you're still you're different out there.
Yeah.
So a very, very different situation. You go with basically every election. I have people from everywhere. As I speak to you right now, I'm inside almost every African election. Every African election, every kind of from different presidents. I'm inside Nigeria. I'm everywhere. Every African election, basically.
Wow.
Almost everyone. Yeah, any election that you see coming, basically, I have people walking in from different countries. Is either the president's advisor, their vice president, either the incoming president, or any of the party this thing that are there. And I'm not talking about, say, CPP and I say Gumo. I'm talking about the major parties, no? The ones that are about, like, are likely to win, the ones that are standing in that contest. So I believe strongly, say, this prophetic thing is being seen across the world, and people are moving towards it. So Biaba, and I don't also prophesy and ask people that brabehumi. I don't care about that. I'm telling you what is going to happen. If you have someone that can do something about it, now wow, I'm not the only one that can actually help you. The prophetic is there, but if you choose to come to me, that's also a very good thing for your advantage, because you know where you're two at the end from, then you know how we can put it together. So that's how it is basically.
Again, how do you handle a situation where and said they all kind of say some of them there's nothing you can do about it, where they ABC, and then will be a fan will come to you, the same person, to help avert that and say BB. How do you handle it for the person to understand? Say we there.
Yeah, I think that I'll use Honorable Kennedy Japonson as an example. In a situation like this, with the prophetic I've given and everything, there are other prophets that is coming to power and everything. They said it. People came to me and they made it clear. Said, okay, Yaba. I think about 3 different people. I was like, okay, and I Kennedy Japonam, and we want to arrange. He wants to come and see you, and this is the arrangement so that we can do whatever we have to do. Now, first person comes, now I'm born needing. Another person about now I'm born needing. A third person about now I'm born needing. Now I'm say okay, or per se, this is what they want to arrange because they really want to win this election. It's very important to them. Anybody that came there, I sat down, looked at them in the eyes, and I told them clearly that your man is not going to become president. It doesn't matter I told them word for word. I said, but if there's any other thing to it, if the person wants to, we have to do a meeting, it will be done, but the result will always remain one. But Omi has won the election. It's over. There's nothing we can do about it. So about 3 different people, I told them the same story.
Wow.
It never changed. 2020 election, NDC people were there as well. I told them, as for this election, I think it was this, and I told them, as for this election, you people have lost. It will look like you are winning the election, but you will not be president. That's how the show is. So that one, forget about it. So I make it very clear. So I prepare you. Because if the thing is there and you won't win, I'll tell you, you are going to lose. So if there is another window, don't wait for this one. Fight for the other window. But most people are so like carried away by other people and they are pushing, they are so enthusiastic, and then they have a delusional force where they're like, oh, I can win. When you know no prophet, when you're a small boy now, no, I want, let me just go and push. If I try harder, I can do it. Now then they go more campaign or strategic things and everything. There is this thing. They are campaign managers, they are cocoa sellers, they are farmers, they are carpenters, they are masons, they are ministers, and they are prophets. Our work is to see the future, guide you through the future. We may not be special. We may not have horns or wings. We may not have parliamentary appointment. We may not sit down on horses or fly in the air. We may be very young. We may be very small. But the words that comes out of our mouth is not our own words. We are messengers. We are scribes of God. And the message is given to us. Once we see the message, we will look at it in the revelations. Then we show it to you. What you want to do with it is entirely up to you. Exactly.
Bro, finally, what do you say to Nkrofwa all the time? I'm say, prophet, we did politics and we did a politician, politics and and then on fanfa any other area now on the Tembia politics. Oh, South on the
okay. So let me break something down. In the kingdom of God, there are categories when it comes to outreach and soul winning and preaching. We have the infantry, we have the cavalry, we have the technical warfare, we have different kinds, the generals of the war, we have the war council, and then the war healers. Those are the medical staff of the war. So it's a body of Christ in here. Everybody and what they are doing. There were apologetics for war, more for a debate. It can't about be some now more battle over there. Some of them they can go very dark and dirty. Some of them can argue and everything. Almost you more difference. Then there are other teachers that write books and everything. Then they are prophets. There is one thing you would notice anytime they mention a prophet in the Bible. The moment you hear the word prophet, the next word you see is a king. All prophets in the Bible were political. There's not even a single one. There's not even a single one that was talking about anything different aside political operation. There's not one. If you go through the Bible right now from Genesis to Revelation, anytime you see a prophet, the next thing you see is a king. Well, how do you know Prophet Samuel? Yeah, but the word prophet Samuel with Trimo, then about Trimo, or see any David, and or see or any Saul. Aside that, the before about Trimo, nothing. When the boy Elijah the Tishbite, the first appearance of Elijah, when people sorry them, when people farm, when people say, neither was he under a crusade, he was in a king's palace prophesying. And now no can say Yanko Pombema in Suatua. How can this be possible? That's Elijah talking. When they speak about Melchizedek, his first encounter was with Abraham, to go and establish a promised land. Anytime you hear about a prophet, there is kingship. You hear about Moses, you see kingship. Anytime you see them, there is rulership and politics around them. That's the prophetic angle. And yes, you choose part you, but our walk talks about the nation. So the Bible said that by a prophet, the Lord God delivered Israel out of Egypt. By a prophet, they prevailed. So that is the key principle of the prophetic. That's what the prophetic does for us. So as a nipano, one important thing we have to understand is anytime at all there is a prophet, he will mainly talk about the nation, and you can't talk about the nation without the key players of the nation. What has to do with the politics, the change of government, who becomes the next king, and also as a prophet, you are one of the people responsible for bringing out those revelations. So a prophetic thing, and you'll be able to say, oh, prophet, Adena, Oba, it's all about who becomes the president, what the nation is going to do. Because that's what prophets do, actually. We play hypocrite and we pretend like, oh, a prophet, no, a Juma be anywhere for prophet than that. And not that we just talk about politics, but we reveal the future of the nation. And Nyabutreo said, as we are here right now, the dollar rate will be 25 Ghana cedis. Do you want to be surprised?
Know about it
exactly
and obey better.
Then
so
at least you prepare the country. Yeah. Exactly. So if you study through the whole Bible, it's always a king and a prophet. So they are always in the place of politics. That's where they have always been through the Bible. So you're pretending to say, oh, prophet is a lie. It's always been in the Bible like that. And I will be in most of us like this. May I teach? I have a whole service for teaching. A whole 3-hour service for teaching. I teach the Bible. I'm also a good teacher of the word. So I do that. But I thought about most of the information that goes out is politics. I don't make a central station, which means and yeah, different. So when I speak here, the political people will carry their own from it. And almost exactly. But some people take it from one side and then move accordingly. So that's it.
Prof, what would be that one message? Yeah, what the as a country or people of God. What I say, a message one can say from God say we don't find money for, and now say the amount that you want to share with us.
All right. Basically, there are some few things I'll put across. Maybe let me just leave one here. I think I've dropped a lot already. Let me leave one here so that everybody will prepare together. I will repeat again the same prophetic line I have seen with the agric ministry, agriculture. I will say to everybody under the sound of my voice, if you're in this country, don't waste your money looking for visa. Don't waste your money looking for any other thing. You see your father's land, your grandfather's land that you have left in the village to come and chase nursing job here. Gather that money, go back there and start farming. Go back there. You will say, I did. Jesus Christ. When you people begin to sell plantain and cassava to buy iPhone 20, iPhones 18, people will sell that to buy cars. Normal people. And then by the time we close our eyes and open, the Chinese own all the farms. They will lease it for 20 years to do an operation. We need to take over and get ready, because 5 years from now, as a farmers will make more money than anybody dealing gold. Write it here and always remember.
Amen. Prophet, but something just crossed my mind. I mean, this is a question. And yes, most, but obia, yeah, Christo ni bia there.
Right.
Nani Eda Kwan said Jesus will come, the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Right, absolutely.
And for us as Christians, one significant idea, young Feniagro. It is sometimes we be because you speak me about now. They say, oh, you're near me yesterday.
Yeah, you see well.
And you be no one year when you actually we mean now. Say Trona Mietia said that particular thing there, Yamidi hinting.
Right.
But Yami be as to when he's coming.
The coming of Jesus Christ. Yeah, I actually have a revelation about that. And let me break it down to you. My revelation is very deep about the second coming of Jesus Christ. So I have seen it. I have seen the whole thing. Now, the most interesting part of the whole equation here, what I've looked at is, I looked into time. This is way many years ago. And what I saw was that I saw darkness approaching.
Wow.
And it was like a darkness that was swallowing the entire pattern of time, the spiritual realm. So as it was swallowing it and it was approaching, and then I began to ask, well, what is coming? And then it told me that's the end of all things, basically. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, so tell me when. Like, let me know when so that we can be able to prepare ourselves ahead of time. And then God took me out of that domain to look at what was happening. And when I observed what was happening, it is what we call moving time. You know, I always tell people I'm a master of time. I've actually mastered how the timelines work. So that was the only time pattern. That was not like a time in the timeline. It was like something that was eating the timeline. So if the timeline was a road and it is going, that thing is also meeting the timeline. So you would not be able to know when it meets, where the problem is. So you can calculate how the timeline is moving and how that is also approaching. So it becomes a strange thing to know. I say, Ofri Accra Eba. Maybe if I say Ofri baby it's a circle. And I mean so me free baby to say Accra more. And I see in shower Achimota. But based on the angle, no, you bet me because we can all read there by 5 minutes, but we can never know the traffics on the road. Neither can we know how fast your car can move, basically. And to your car, my friend said, what free oh, miss my free or yeba. Maybe I'm able to tire be pie, and I said, "Obi abe traffic light be so na ya delay kakra." So we may never meet on the exact time we plan. That is how come the Bible says, "No man knows the day nor the hour the Son of Man cometh." So we can never know because it's not a static time; it's a motion time, which means it is impossible for anybody, even with a prophetic eye, to ascertain that timeline. It is not possible. So that's the only thing that will take us by surprise. But then there will be signs of His coming, and the signs is what we have already experienced. So now we wait for the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ as the Lord lives.
Right, Prophet. But now okono na wama yen church location ni